In a distant village of Akande, names were more than just identifiers. They were legacies, carrying with them honor, pride, or in some cases, shame. The name Adekunle once revered had become synonymous with betrayal and abomination. The council's leader's voice echoed with finality. The sins of the father shall be the burden of his bloodline. The Adekunle's family is banished, and the curse of the gods is theirs to bear. Leave and never return. Adebayo, barely 20, resented his father for bringing their family to shame. When the family settled in a distant village, Adebayo chose to leave. He abandoned the Adekunle's name, adopting a new identity. In a bustling settlement far from Akande, he began to build a life of his own, his past buried in silence. Years later, in the heart of the city, Yetunde and Amarashi had become symbols of modern success. At 28, they were a force to reckon with. Yetunde, a lawyer, was making waves in her field, while Amarashi, a rising tech expert, was building a business that promised to change the industry. Their friendship forged in the simplicity of childhood, but withstood time's pressure. On a sunny afternoon, they met at their favorite cafe, the air buzzing with the energy of their conversation. So, how's the boyfriend? Amarashi asked, smiling as she sipped her coffee. Yetunde smiled, her gaze softening. Still perfect. We've been together for a year now, and it feels like we've known each other for a lifetime. Amarashi grinned. I'm happy for you, Yetunde. Toby and I have been together for a month, and we're already talking about marriage. Yetunde's face shifted slightly, concern flickering in her eyes. Marriage? Isn't that a bit fast? There's a lot to consider. His family, your family, the age difference. Do you know much about him? Amarashi dismissed her concerns with a wave. Relax, Yetunde. Toby is everything I've ever wanted. My family will understand. Trust me, this feels right. But Yetunde couldn't shake the unease in her chest. She hesitated, watching her friend, unsure of how to voice her concerns without causing friction. A couple of months later, Marashi visited Yetunde, her face full of excitement. You're glowing. What's going on? Yetunde asked. Her curiosity piqued. Amarashi held up her hand, revealing a ring. I got married. Yetunde froze, her heart racing. What? Married? Amarashi, how could you get married without telling anyone? I'm worried. You've barely known Toby for 4 months, and you don't even know his family. This is a lot to take in. Marashi's face fell slightly, a smile faltering for the first time. Yetunde, I love him. We are happy. Don't you see that? We went on a trip, and I found out I was pregnant. And in that moment, we decided to get married. We'll do the traditional rites soon, I promise. Yetunde sat back in her chair, her mind spinning. Amarashi, this isn't just about love. There's more at stake here. Will both families approve? What if it's not as simple as you think? I mean, a baby on the way, and then eloped marriage? Marashi's voice hardened slightly as she turned to Yetunde. Can't you just be happy for me? All I've heard are complaints. Why are you jealous that I've achieved what you haven't? The words hit Yetunde like a punch to the gut. She stood up, unable to stay seated. I'm not jealous, Amarashi. I just want what's best for you. But this isn't like you. As Yetunde walked away, a knot tightened in Amarashi's chest. The silence between them felt unbearable, and she wondered whether she had made the right choice in rushing forward with Toby. Weeks later, Amarashi broke the news to her parents. They were disappointed, but agreed to meet Toby and his family for the traditional rites. The day of the introduction finally arrived, and the atmosphere was heavy with anticipation. When Toby and his parents arrived, smiles and greetings filled the air, but everything came to a halt when Amarashi's mother, once full of energy and joy, suddenly collapsed. Panic erupted and the room seemed to spin. When Amarashi's mother gained consciousness, she whispered, "The past always comes back." The words sent a chill across the room, leaving everyone frozen in uncertainty. Marashi's heart raced in her chest as she looked around confused. Toby's father, Kunle, remained silent, his expression unreadable. Marashi's mother, shaking, turned to Kunle with a mixture of sorrow and anger in her eyes. You, you are Adebayo. I thought I'll never see you again. Amarashi's words tilted. Her mother's words shattered everything she thought she knew. The woman she saw no fault in had revealed a secret that had been buried for decades. Marashi was Adebayo's daughter, born just before his banishment. Out of fear and shame, Amarashi's mother had married Ugona, the man Amarashi had always called father. The room fell into stunned silence. Toby's face drained of color as the truth settled over him like a dark cloud. The woman he had married, the mother of his unborn child, was his sister. His mind reeled with the impossibility of the situation. Unable to bear the weight of the truth, Toby stormed out, leaving the room in chaos. Amarashi, her heart breaking into pieces, ran after him, but the truth was too much to bear. She fled the house, tears blurring her vision, as the reality of her fractured world crushed her. Kunle, silent amidst the storm, felt the burden of his past weighing heavily on him. He had tried to escape his past, changed his name to rebuild his life, but it had followed him. The children he had hoped to protect now carried the consequences of the choices made long ago. In that moment, he understood that no matter how far one runs, the past always catches up. There was no escaping it. No matter how much they tried to outrun it, the weight of history would always find its way back. Bye.